I'm Elamin Abdelmahmoud, and this is Commotion. Look, one of the biggest movies of the year is Demon Slayer, Kimetsu no Yaiba Infinity Castle. It's an anime that has made more than $617 million US worldwide. And look, if you are keeping track, that is more than any of the Marvel movies that came out this year. More than Mission Impossible, more than Superman. It's also now the highest grossing Japanese film of all time. It's based on a hugely popular Demon Slayer manga series, and the movie is a continuation of the TV adaptation that's available on Netflix right now. So to talk about Demon Slayer sweeping this box office, Ana Diaz is here. Ana, welcome to the show.
Hi, thanks for having me on.
Yes, of course. Look, for people like me who are not familiar with the Demon Slayer manga, what's the general storyline here?
Yeah, so, this is an animated series. It's serialized, and it is a fantasy series that follows a young boy named Tanjiro Kamado. And at the very beginning of the series, his family is slain by demons. And him and his sister are the only survivors. What then happens is his sister is transformed into a demon herself, and in his fight to maintain her life and to save her, he becomes a demon slayer himself, and he wants to gain power to change her back into a human.
So the manga is incredibly popular. It gets turned into a pretty popular TV series. That you can stream that on a bunch of different places, including Netflix. What do you think is the thing that makes it so popular, Ana?
There's a bunch of reasons. Some of it has to do with the content of the series and also the context in which the series began. It's on Netflix, so it's really easy for a lot of people to watch. Contextually, the show debuted during the pandemic, and I actually attribute a lot of its popularity to the growth of TikTok at the time. On TikTok, it was really easy for fans to share edits of the series, they'll clip the videos and show like cute interactions between characters, or when they look cool, or kind of like bring out these different elements of the show that will then go viral. There are meme trends that were inspired by the show. But then also this anime series is really popular because, it's an action series. But I think that its appeal isn't just limited to straight action fans. It's very action heavy. I won't shy away from that
there's
at
still
all.
action. Yeah.
Yeah, like a lot, like maybe like more than some people would prefer. But it has a really great cast of characters that's inspired a lot of love for individual characters that aren't even like the main set of protagonists. So Tanjiro and his friends, like they have their kind of core group that the series mainly follows. But then you have this like sweeping cast of like mentors and teachers and other fighters who inspire extremely dedicated fandoms in and of themselves. And so people will even play into romantic elements between like various side characters, and all of this together kind of, there's just enough like little nuggets to kind of have a lot of little bits that appeal to all kinds of fans.
I appreciate you describing this love that people have for the characters with a bit of a distance, but that love extends to you because you wrote a sort of like a love letter of sorts for the main character in Demon Slayer. You described him as one of the best boys in anime. Why do you love this character so much?
Yeah, I mean, okay, so I think he's just like, I just want to take care of Tanjiro. Obviously, he has this horrible life, and I'm like, oh my God, the older sister in me is just like, I feel so badly for you.
I know you're lighting up talking about this. It's it's the sweetest thing in the world. Yeah.
I think Tanjiro brings this warmth and sense of care to an action role that I think is kind of rarer in these kinds of anime series. He's very soft, and he cares about the people around him, and he'll fight for them, and we see him struggle in these sword clashes, but we also see him check in on the emotions of the other characters, and he's always very quiet. He's not very aggressive, and I just think he's an interesting protagonist because he has this way of bringing out the softest side of every character he meets in a world that is very harsh and punishing, and with these actual demons, it's very, very scary. And so I think he's kind of this little candlelight at the center of this very ominous world. And so
Just describing somebody as a candlelight while they're killing all of those demons.
Yeah.
I think that's the loveliest sort of juxtaposition. But also, I should say, like, this new Demon Slayer movie, I've heard that it could be kind of tough. Like, if you don't know the backstory and you don't know the anime and you don't know the TV show, you maybe can't just walk into the theater and understand everything that's happening. Why is that?
Yeah, so I would absolutely not recommend to go to this series or into this movie if you haven't seen the series beforehand.
Okay.
There is like, when you watch the movie, there's like no even, a lot of times an anime movie like this will have just like a very, very condensed rundown of what's going on. So like if you're, a supportive family member who's, joined someone to go, you have at least somewhat an idea what's going on. That's not really the case here. So like how I'd explain it to someone is like, imagine if like for the ending of Game of Thrones, instead of watching the final season on HBO, like the final war that happens and series of events, they turn those into movies that you then have to go to the theater to watch. And
wow.
Yeah.
Okay, that would be, I can imagine that would be a little bit tough to walk into. Having said that, because you've been following the series, the movie makes sense to you. You are part of the people that they're trying to advertise this movie to. Did it live up to your expectations?
Yeah, I think it did. I mean, I feel like you can kind of imagine what you're going to get going in, and that's what you get. And that can be a good or a bad thing. It's very consistent. You're not going to get like any large surprises. I think, for me personally, like the main draw of going to a movie like this is, to continue to see either the manga that you've read adapted like visually and kind of see it in this gorgeous animation, or if you're new to, get the kind of some of the plot wrap-ups that you're waiting for. But, I wouldn't, say like, oh, there's something that really surprised me or that was like super outstanding. But I think that, it's a gorgeous movie. The action sequences are very well animated. That's like what you're going to watch. And there's a lot of really cute interactions between the characters that you get to see in this that might not shine through in in the comic.
I'm trying to balance that, the popularity of the movie and the numbers that he's sort of done in terms of just like the financial success of it, with the fact that a lot of the people who are walking into the movie, they are people who are already steeped in Demon Slayer sort of world, because as you said, you can't just walk in, off the street and sort of be involved in it. Like, look, anime has always been popular, but then recently Netflix sort of revealed that more than 50% of their subscribers now watch anime worldwide. That's about 150 million households. As someone who's been, both a fan of anime and been covering it for a minute, what is your take on the popularity of anime right now?
My take is that anime is popular because of all the genres that it encompasses. I think maybe for a while and still now, some people see anime as like Dragon Ball Z and only action series. And obviously Demon Slayer being an action series might not like help that perception. But anime isn't a single genre, and there's probably an anime series for everyone. One of my favorite anime series follows a group of young women who get to know each other through a shared love of camping and cooking, and it's really wonderful. There's another one of my current favorites is called Sign of Affection. It's a romance anime that follows a budding college romance between a young man and his deaf classmate. If you like cooking shows, there's an anime for that. If you like band, like Euphonium, there's an anime for that. If you like ping pong, like there's kind of so many different interests. Like there's kind of something for everyone. And so I think that it's like, actually, my take is that it's really breaking out in that sense. And so you have your romance girlies, you have, folks who really like action series, you have people who like to learn things. There's something for everyone.
I guess like what's interesting to me as I sort of reflect on the popularity of Demon Slayer is taking that notion of there's something for everyone and then arriving at a point where Demon Slayer is beating, Superman, is beating Marvel movies. That has sort of like really brought me a new world in terms of just appreciating how many more people are now engaged with anime than they used to be. And so I appreciate you being here to explain to me the Demon Slayer phenomenon, but also just kind of situate us in the world of how popular anime is right now. Thank you so much for your time, Ana.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Yes, of course. Ana Diaz is a freelance culture critic based in Chicago. Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba Infinity Castle is in theaters right now. That is it for the show today. My name is Elamin Abdelmahmoud. This show is called Commotion. We're going to be back tomorrow. By the way, tomorrow our discussion is entirely about Mariah Carey, a general look back at her career, but also this new album that just came out. So there's lots to talk about there. In the meantime, I hope you have a great day. And if you're around tomorrow, we'd love to see you then.